Good morning, welcome to OG Foundation, capital of the sovereign state of Velodium. I am your host, Sovereign Non-Velodium, and I'm here in the Molly Stark Tower at its current state of progress. So, it's starting to look a bit like a dragon. So here, we'll take you through the secret tunnel here that is so secret. So I started the week by making pickled eggs. The way I do it, which is just easy, is I just save my pickle jars or my banana pepper jars, and then after I eat all the stuff in there, then I can use them once as brine for pickled eggs, and then you get double use out of the brine, and don't need to go get jars or anything. So now a bunch of extra eggs are all preserved, which make for great snacks when there's not time to cook up a whole egg meal. Oops, I didn't mean to cut there. Push the wrong button. So, into the secret tunnel. Out through here. So, this is why I call it a dragon, because it looks like a big dragon head. I'm going to see if I can somewhat accentuate it. Though it's like that piece of lath looks kind of like an eyelid. And I didn't do that on purpose, that's just how it turned out, but I think I'm going to keep it, something like that anyways. Anyway, so I'm going to work with this whole dragon theme as I build this up, but I've got to add some more lath to this side. Also, this might end up being a flagpole right in that corner here, like right down, right there. And so I'm going to leave the top of that open so I can insert a flagpole at some point. That's the idea. So there's also metalwork to do to build up a structural element around that piece of rebar as well. But this is the starting state of the tower. I think with one more coat around the main bridge there, reinforcement coat mostly on the right side, but with one more coat I think I'll feel confident of trying to get up top there. And then if that will hold me, I mean, it would be a disaster if it wouldn't, but assuming it can hold me, then I can work on completing the dome to the far side as I simultaneously prep spaces over here to get mortar on this side. And basically I'm going to try to get as much coverage on the top side of this Molly Stark Tower dragon. It's gonna be castle on one side, dragon on the other side, basically. Two different angle perspectives. They're gonna try to tie into each other. See how well that works. Try to get as much coverage on this week, and that will be the main focus. I don't know if I can catch them. If they're eagles or hawks. If you watched last episode, you saw that there was one that was just flying around all the time, making a lot of noise. Oh, I just saw it. It was going down for that tree right there. But it looked like there was two of them together. I think maybe they found each other. So I've now got the whole back side of this left wall stripped down from here and then all the way up and down to there. So I'm going to have to modify that. There's a bit of a disaster as the forms were falling. I'm going to have to modify that staging to try to get height off of it, whether it's a step stool or a ladder or something, to be able to get coverage on most of this. But the first batch I'm just going to try to get what I can reach, like this corner, the back side of this corner. And I've got enough surfaces to do a whole batch between reinforcing that arch corner, doing the inside where this form was up in here, and reinforcing that internal corner. And then I got some fresh stuff on over there, and then on the outside of kind of like the dragon, that's only got a single coat, so a double coat on that will be good, and some over here. So plenty of surfaces. And then I got to get that rebar anchored in, because I forgot to get an extra coat on that as well. So plenty of surfaces for a whole batch to get started on Friday. The first nostril is prepped. So fast. Saturday morning, I did a good bit of prep, both on the nose and the nostril, and then right above the eye, and got the ladder up there to be able to service the middle of that part that I wasn't able to reach before. And I can get a second coat on that. You can see how much smoother that one is than that one. And then I got a number of forms on up there, and got a couple more pieces of rebar up. I'll show you when I get up there. But first, I'm gonna mix the mortar and then get the first coats on this side and then just all around the nose, basically. So the two pieces of rebar I added were here to there, and then in like an L up into there. Because basically the arch up there, let's see if I can make it a little wider. It just like ends right at either wall, and it doesn't really tie in. So without another piece of rebar to kind of be able to redirect that tensile force, it would want to push out right where the rebar hits the other rebar, but now it'll extend downwards. So I'm just about running out of rebar. I think there'll be just enough to finish it. I still have to do these ones up here, but I got one batch of mortar done, and so you can see that. Got new coverage here, and that kind of covered up, and the rebar begun to be tied in, and got a lot of coverage on the outside on the left as the kind of arch that is the kind of the bridge of the nose of the dragon comes together, and really helps to bond those two walls together, additionally to how they're already bonded. So that one also getting mortared in. There was another one like vertical that is newly mortared in there too, so there's two pieces of rebar for part of that, but the other one bends for this arch here, so it goes to the right, and good coverage there. And then I got mortar on the back of that arch, which is probably all that's necessary to be able to get up there. So I might try to get up there tomorrow, or I'll just add more batches on or coats on the inside and outside first, and just put more weight up there without actually having to get up on top. So there's thunderstorms forecast in about an hour, which is why I didn't do a second batch of mortar. So now I'm just doing metalwork and prepping some lath so that I can get some good coverage on the next batch. So yesterday afternoon, I didn't do a batch of mortar because the forecast said there was going to be a big thunderstorm, and then there was no rain, so I did a bunch of metal. And then this morning got up early and did a batch of mortar and checked the forecast, and it said no rain. And as soon as I finished my first bucket, it has just been raining consistently. And I just finished my third bucket, and it's still raining, and the forecast still calls for no rain. It's just wonderful. Fucking with the weather forecast is the best way to kind of fuck with my whole work schedule. But I did my best to cover two different areas of plastic, which were out in the open and just getting heavily rained on. And I'm trying to apply the last bucket or two in areas that won't get rained on, though it still keeps saying the rain is about to clear. Anyways, a bit of frustration on Sunday morning. So I've got a sketchy little setup here with this little scaffolding, and then a ladder from the scaffolding up to a number of areas there which I removed the forms from. And just the far left has a little bit of coverage from, I think, from being up there on the counter and reaching around maybe. But I set up a couple like straps and hooks over there. There's two of them, and one of them is camouflage, it's hard to see. But the idea is that with two of them, I'll be able to put the bucket up there, and the two of them can hold the bucket. And one of them, if you just have one of them, it can lead to disaster. But anyways, I don't have room to hold the bucket up there and do that, so I'm using the tree to hold up the bucket with those hooks, and then I'll be able to hopefully not die in the process of this, and apply mortar to as much of that as possible. We'll see how it goes. So after batch 2 on this sketchy ladder situation is my hooks over there. I got pretty good coverage over here. I have to reset my hooks up higher to be able to get up higher, and I might even just climb the tree to be able to do that. And then couldn't really reach over there with the current scaffolding setup, but that was about half of it. And with the other half of it, continuing working up that far wall, and got some more coverage on the dome section there, kind of outlining the chimney. I'm not sure exactly how it'll line up, but that'll be more than enough room, and I can close down some room on it. And yeah, good extra coating on the structural elements on either side. So probably tomorrow I'll feel comfortable getting up there, climbing up on the arch. And we'll see, I might be able to do another batch of mortar today and do some more undercoating and various surfaces. Wasabi is meeting the other chickens. So far they haven't gotten too close and bossed her around. You'll be nice to that chickie. You be nice there, Coco. Hey, be nice. Okay, out of here. Visiting time is over. Hey, don't go that way. Turn, chicken. You're doing a good job balancing on there, hon. Oh, look at you go. Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. You're doing a great job balancing on that broken chair, hon. Hey, put it up. Oh, got sharp hooves about it. A good balance. A good balance. It's Monday evening. It's been another rainy day. I've done a bit of metal work since the last video, putting lath up and tying metal. I was up on the arch earlier. I climbed up there. It was quite sketchy. But essentially now I'm going to mix a batch of mortar. I also did all sorts of stuff around this. This has to be a structural element and I need it to come out here, so I'm doing this little sidewall and I got a form on there, and it's gonna kind of tie, like the windowsill is gonna tie into a little table type area, and yeah, it's gotta reinforce this whole rebar situation with a little sidewall and walls going either way, so that I can so that it can bear the load of the dome as it comes by. Just like I got that piece of rebar just about all integrated, and I've almost got the capacity to get mortar bridged over this window. I started shaping that window, but I've got a bit of shaping to do on all of these windows. But right now I'm going to get to mortar, and I'm going to try to get that wall all the way up to the rebar on the side, and then a good bit more coverage in that kind of on the dome type thing in between there and that sidewall. And I'll connect as much as possible the dome with the mortar on the sidewall so that there's coverage. It won't be structural until the coat after that, but to get coverage on it all. So that'll be a balancing act to balance up there on the part of the arch that can support my weight and not put weight on the other part. And then I'll probably do some undercoating, and I got some more lath on over here, and I'll try to get that kind of anchored in, which will also strengthen the arch. And then over here I got lath on this step, which goes out beyond, almost like a little mini porch thing. So I got that all prepped, and then there's like a little banister here that I've got prepped as well, and the start of a little kind of structural seat stool thing, like where you could like sit and take your shoes off or something. But it's also going to be structural to give this wall a little bit of reinforcement going back and forth that way. So that's all that's on the agenda. Now I'm going to get changed and try to mix mortar and apply it as fast as possible. I've also got the ladder situated out here, and I'm going to end up pulling forms, but I don't know if I'm going to get to that today. Another day, Monday. Got a good covering on this kind of little platform thing. The horses are out over there. The goats are bleeding, wanting to come in. Got a little undercoating done over here and undercoating there, and a good amount of coverage in that corner, connecting the wall with that arch, as well as the final few inches up on most all of that wall. And then got a lot of this banister done, and a little bit of coverage starting on that little stool thing, undercoating, and first coat on this structural thing. So I'm glad I got a batch of mortar done for the day, and hopefully they can get 2 done tomorrow. Wasabi's been hanging out here in this first generation chicken coop. She's got all to herself now. She's been doing really good. Spending almost all day in here. And then I take her in at night. Got her water, got her food. And she can go outside, which she's done a couple times. Such a good independent girl. That's right, you are, Wasabi. Cute kiddo. That's a good girl. Okay. Drink that. Wasabi was up top, and then I got her. She came down to see what these goats are up to. And the goats got into destructo mode. Trying to eat bad things. They're gonna teach bad lessons to Wasabi. Alright, there you go. Send some water. There you can go there. No. Say hi to Wasabi. Oh. You go there. You wanted me to take a picture? Is that what you were saying? What are you doing over there? You always see you, pretty girl. Hi, look at you. There's other chickies over here. I've been using this outhouse for over a decade now. But just in the last couple of days, there's some kind of aggressive bee or wasp, or I think one of the two, that is contesting with me for the territory of the outhouse. Yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I got bit on my hip. And then today, I got bit on my wrist, or stung. I think I'm actually getting stung. So this is the battles for territory off-grid, fighting, biting, stinging creatures to be able to use the outhouse. So I think I figured it out. I think they've got a beehive, like, right next to that wooden box. So, like, one time I thought, anyways, I usually don't bother with the bees at all. I don't care about them. But since they started stinging me, and I guess because they put their thing there, they feel threatened or something. So I'm going to have to get some spray foam and foam them out of there. Yeah, the bees are angry now. I better not have to go to the bathroom. I don't know if you can see or hear, but there's lots of bees buzzing around there now. Hopefully I don't have to go to the bathroom anytime soon, and they'll settle down. So the bees are enraged, but they started it. I didn't mess with them, and they've stung me twice now as I've peacefully tried to use the same space. So they forced me to action, and they'll have to move on and find a new place. And hopefully I don't have to use the bathroom anytime soon, until they figure out they gotta move on. Tuesday evening, 4:20. I got more coverage up on the dome in the second batch of the day, mostly on that corner, but a little bit on that corner, and I might be able to get a second coat on some of this stuff up here. But halfway through batch number 2, and I got really good coverage on that banister. That thing down there has 2 coats on it now, and I'm making progress on the dragon's nose, so all good, going slowly but surely. So by the end of the day on Tuesday, got another couple feet, or 1.5 feet maybe, of coverage over there. Got full coverage on this banister here, and a good bit of undercoating as well. I think the camera's a little dirty. So this ended up pretty thick. It's like 1.5 inches thick. Should be strong enough maybe tomorrow for me to stand on to do this side of the wall. So there's a good bit of fresh coverage from above, some double coating above, some undercoating, and the sidewall has 2 coats on bottom. I should be able to remove the form tomorrow without busting anything. Just kind of like a single coat on top, smearing on either side. And then over here, the little deck thing has gotten like at least 2 coats now, and that should be walkable tomorrow as well. Though it would be good to get a ladder out there and do an undercoat. More on this arch kind of above and on the sides, and then this whole thing here, this piece of lath that it was kind of like sticking out, and then I had like kind of bent it out of the way. I ended up mortaring it in place just like that, so it makes kind of like an organic shape of like an arc, narrow at top and bottom. It gives the wall some lateral strength in the middle where it would otherwise be weakest, and so it'll have structural functions as well as kind of keep the space a little more open. So you could potentially walk from this banister over to there, and that's what I'm thinking, is that this will be, this stool that's also kind of like structural will double as like a stair, and then I'll probably put like a second one there, so you could like step from 2 steps and then step onto the banister and then get onto the counter, so that there's like an easy way to get up there absent any kind of step stools. So that's it for today. 2 batches, and they got into the 90s. Wednesday morning, that PVC is to just kind of help shape the dome, which I used yesterday, and then just moved it. And today my goal is to get the mortar from there, extend it out to that corner, and then I'm going to try to bridge from here down to that arch. Those are 2 kind of goals. And then keep working this corner on the inside and out, and this wall, and then undercoating here, more coverage on this where I removed the forms, so we'll get the back coat and more on all of this, and then some more undercoating on the up there on the fresh stuff from yesterday on both sides. So just about to get into mortar here on Wednesday morning, another hot 90-degree day. So after batch 1, that's how far I got on that corner. And then on this corner, I got basically twice as much as I expected. 2 buckets instead of 1. And twice as thick as I expected, because I was able to get a good kind of hold on the rebar, and then doing it left-handed from above. Right now it's got plastic over it to try to slow down the curing a little bit. But the shape turned out really well on that part. And over here as well. So now once that cures, this bridge is bridged with that bridge. We've got a triple bridge, and once we close that in, it'll be a full dome here. And just got to come out and get to the end of over there. And with the second batch or second coat on this on either side, so now it's up to like 4 coats. This thing is quite solid now, even though these last batches haven't dried. And you can see how this is all structurally supporting this rebar kind of span here in between this window and then this bay of windows here. So we'll see. I might get on to this side over here and maybe pulling some forms on the other side. This banister is pretty solid. I was walking on it a bit, so I can use the banister to help plaster up that side as well, and then after I do that I can take those forms down. So yeah, that's all for right now. Time for some breakfast. That took forever. There's 1 bucket for the undercoating on that side, 1 bucket for the undercoating on that side, a little over a bucket for the undercoating over here, and then a smooth coat. It's like my batch was setting on me, getting so solid by the time I was done, and it's like 90 degrees, so then I had to like dig through hard mortar. But anyways, it turned out really well. All of that is undercoated, not that, but everything over there, so I'll be able to get out on that tomorrow to tie off hopefully the rest of that. Maybe I can even enclose that tomorrow. We will see. That'll be the goal. So here's the arch, and here's how the dome's looking at the end of the day, Wednesday. I just watered it, so it's all, I took the plastic off and watered it so it can help it cure. So all that got an undercoat. So tomorrow all that will be really solid to be able to get out on, to be able to metal tie the rest of that off. 2 great batches today. The undercoating was especially difficult. This will be Wasabi's first time jumping out on her own. Good job, cutie girl. Check out this critter. It's pretty wild. Like a giant moth, maybe? I just noticed it. It's like it's a little sentry watching me. So the weather forecast is saying rain like all day today. So I might not be able to get to any cement work. But regardless, it's okay for right now. So I'm out here tying off as much of this remaining stuff as possible up top on the dome. So I gave it a full send. Got over a bucket on this side, and then a teeny tiny bit up there, but almost 3 buckets on that whole opening, and then just barely, by like throwing it, got it connected to that column. And yeah, it's almost closed up now. But I'm not going to do any more mortar today, so that'll be the end for the projects for this week. And I'll just give you a shot of the animals. Oh wait, one more thing to show you. See up there? I was unsure how to sort of connect the top of that wall up, and so I ended up folding it down to then connect with the other side. Let me get a little closer. Oh boy. So that there'll be like a little shelf up here, and structurally the column will perform better, and there shouldn't be so much shear strength that it's needed for these to go up into the dome. So the dome is reinforced even though they don't intersect the dome on the sides, just because the sides are reinforced by each other with that. I might end up adding 1 or 2 in the middle, because otherwise it would be a really difficult place to put shelves in. But I kind of like this one up top. So yeah, from up here, got our little walkway out here. It's not super strong because I haven't done any of the underside, but once I get coverage on all of these forms here, then I can pull the forms, then the walls will be done, and then we'll be going up on the dome on that side and basically working towards the middle, moving up from the bottom, and then, well, yeah, once I close this, I won't be able to get up from that side, so I'll probably kind of work over the sides from here as I work my way up. But this is a great batch. Hopefully there's no rain anytime soon. Can you see the turkeys? It's like big game hunter. You don't even have to leave the tower. The dragon might get you. The fishes are doing good in the little aquaponics feature here. Plants are doing pretty good too. We've got these two chickies in here, Grizzlies chickies. Looks like today's their first day that their mamas rejected them, so they're on their own. So I brought Wasabi in here to see if Wasabi will meet them. This is their first intro. Come on, Wasabi, be brave. Go out there. Go meet them. Silly chickies. I'm officially out of Portland. The first 2 pallets are all used up. So I've got some more Portland to resupply and enough lath and rebar for the crenellations, and I just gotta unload it before the rain dumps. Come here, sweetheart. You good girl. The goats don't even come over here. They've been in the pen eating tree leaves all day. And well, I did a batch of mortar and then got more supplies. And now they're afraid of a little bit of water in the grass. But the kitty's not afraid. She came all the way over here. So there ended up, the rain came. There's a lot of rain, but I think all the mortar on the dome was fully set. And so it's all good. And that'll be the last for this week. Say bye, sweetheart. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next week. How was your day, Wasabi?